keep giving me soap? I don't understand. Tim, why does he keep giving me soap every month? Okay. We're not on, right? Good. Oh, I got something for you. Take five. Take five with hot water. Tibetan Chinese. Five with hot water today, this morning, right now. And then take, see? Then take four with hot water this evening before sleep. And then after that, take two in the morning, two in the evening. Five, four, two, 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 two. Okay. Then if you're still sick, let me know. I have some more. It helps me a lot. I hope it helps you. And whenever I catch this kind of thing, it helps me a lot. Try. Okay. I guess. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Nah. Yeah. It's okay. It's too corny. It's okay. Okay. Ooh, I get by. Oh yeah. You ready? What's Persis doing there? Oh, hi Persis. I thought she just
Oh,
made
hello
waffles.
everyone. Hello, I'm Person, and I'm one of the translator of ACI, and I will be the host today. I want you to everyone to welcome to our program, the Mo the Bodhisattva, and coming to live, coming from Dharma Mountain. And please join me to give a warm welcome to Geshe Michael Roach.
Yeah. Okay. Hi Persis. I miss you. She makes breakfast for me when I'm in Kyoto.
Hello, Geshe, I
She's
miss you
very
too.
patient. Uh, anyway, good to see you. All right. Oh, I wanted to show you guys something. You ready? No, I get messy. Well, I haven't. This is so when I became a geshe, my teacher completely ignored it, and and I thought he wasn't gonna say anything. And then I don't know, like a month later, he said, "I have a gift for you," and this is the book that we're studying, the Lamrim book by Pabonko Rinpoche, and it's original, my teacher's copy, uh, and Tibetan cloth, and the papers in Tibet was made from a bush, which I'm sure cat can grow here, uh, and it's a little toxic, and bugs don't like it, and so it's the preferred paper in Tibet. They don't have other kinds of paper, and so it's rare now. And then this book looks even older because my air conditioner leaked on it, and it kind of gave it an antique look. Uh, so I to me it's very precious. It has his notes. What do you call it? Highlighter, yellow, loud highlighter. If I put that on a scripture, he would yell at me. But he put it on his own scripture. I guess it's okay. So I thought to pass it around. This is the book we're reading. We're on the last part this time, and I think we can finish in Kyoto if we're lucky. But Geshe is kind of slow. He keeps telling stories and stuff. So anyway, I thought you might like to hold it and look at it. You're welcome to look at it. You're not welcome to mix the pages up. because it takes a long time to put it back together. The backs don't have any page numbers, so please don't mess it up. Okay. All right. Rob's gonna. You can hand it around. You can play with it. Okay. It's okay if you mess it up. I don't care. I can figure it out. Okay. All right. I think it's the most valuable thing he had, and he gave it to me. So it's cool. All right. Okay, you guys ready? Detar Chela. 334B. Yeah, good. Nice. Okay. He says Detar Chela means, and by the way, today I'm going to tap you for $50. Somebody said it before that. So 25 each. Horse race. Horse race means the teacher's has to go somewhere, or needs to go to the bathroom. He's talking fast. I did go to the bathroom. I just have to go somewhere. So Detar Chela, that's a tricky thing. It says if you do it like that, and you have to read it carefully. What he just talked about was don't expect people to thank you if you're going to follow Lojong. If you're going to be a Buddhist, if you really want to be a Buddhist, then just help people and don't worry about if they notice or if they thank you. Okay, that's Buddhism. Okay, and by the way, in the beginning, people will not thank you, and then if you just shut up and keep helping people, they will start thanking you all the time. They'll stand outside your car with roses or stuff like that. So it just takes a while for the karma to ripen. All right. So don't expect thanks, but by the way, you will get a lot of thanks later. Okay. After the trolls get done with you, people will thank you. Okay. All right. So Detar Chela, but so you can read it that way, but I'll take the Detar Chela as more general, which means we just finished Labja. Say Labja. Labja was short little advices that came at the end of the 7-part Lojong. So we've been going so slow through the Lojong, through the text for developing a good heart. So that's a separate book that he put inside this book. Okay, and it was written, I don't know, you can say it was written about 1,000 years before him. And so he's giving us Lojong to get us ready for the 6 perfections, because you have to have bodhicitta before you study the 6 perfections, okay? Which just means the reason you're in this class is to help everybody in the universe, okay? And the scale of things or the scope of things is that big, okay? It's not even to help people on this planet. This is just one little planet, you know? By the way, this is a retarded planet. We're at the back of the planet class, but I'm not going to rag on you. Okay, Detar Chela means if you follow, no, so I would read it as Labja, if you follow the whole Lojong that I just taught you, okay? Che Nyingma Sok Nimanga Doa Yang, even though we are living in the worst of times, it means in history, supposedly these are supposed to be bad days, bad times, maybe just before the end of the world, something like that. Don't worry, it's not going to happen in your time, but it's supposed to be that these are hard days on this planet. Okay. If you study Lojong, the worse things get, the more stuff you have to practice with. So every time things get worse and worse, a bodhisattva is kind of more happy because there's more stuff to work with. It's like bodhisattva's job is to work with crap. Can I say? Excuse me. My wife's not coming this time, so your job, bodhisattva's job, is to work with the hard stuff, the poison stuff. And so we're in lucky days now. We're in lucky times because times are bad in the world. Then in traditional Buddhism, it's called Nyingma Nga. Say Nyingma Nga. Nyik means when you make tea with tea leaves and then there's junk on the bottom of the cup when you finish, that's called Nyingma. Okay. Or there's a pond of water and the dirty water is at the bottom. So we're supposedly at the bottom of the dirty pond. And there's called 5 kinds of dirty. There's 5 kinds of dirty going on right now. Okay. So here's the 5. I took them. When you see something in red letters, it means I searched it in John Brady's database and I pulled it out for you. Okay. So say Nyingma, Nyomongbe Nyingma, Semchenge Nyingma, Duki Nyingma, Dawe Nyingma. There are 5. Okay. Number 1, say Nyingma means lifetimes are short. It used to be that people live for thousands of years. And we are at the bottom of the barrel. We're at the worst times. People live for 50 years, 100 years. It's considered bad times. First, the lifetimes are short. Secondly, Nyomong Nyigma, people's minds are more messed up than they were 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago. Semchen Nyigma, people are angry, people are violent. Duki Nyingma, these are times when there's a lot of conflict. And then Tawe Nyingma means these are times when nobody's interested in Buddhism much, okay? And, you know, it's just, you try to tell somebody about bodhicitta or lojong and they're like, you know, did you see the football game yesterday? You're like, you know, I mean, you want to tell somebody they're going to die and they're like, you know, yeah, but, you know, I read this thing on my phone. It was so interesting, you know. So people are just not interested. So these are bad times. When you're in the bodhisattva business, bad times are good times. It's like being an umbrella seller during the rainy season. Everyone else is unhappy and you're like really happy. The more rain there is, the more umbrellas you can sell, okay? So these are good days for bodhisattvas, okay? The more messed up the world is, the better it is for bodhisattvas and rock stars, Ben. Okay, Mengang, he's here, I'm so happy. I wanted to play music so bad. Mengang di serling bane gibayinma, chekawa rangiki chenye, chenye be shiyang migit. This lojong that I've been teaching you guys, says Pabonko Rinpoche, it came down to Serlingba, say Serlingba. Serling means, as I mentioned, Golden Island, and that's an old word for Indonesia or Sumatra. So the teacher, the big teacher from Sumatra who taught Atisha was called Golden Island teacher, Subarna Dvipa Guru. So these instructions came down from him. And after Chekawa, he released them to the public, right? They were secret. And then about 900 years ago, Chekawa released them to the public. And then he said, these advices about being a bodhisattva in the bad days make me so happy that if I died today, I wouldn't have any regrets. Okay, so Shiyang means even if I die. Migyer means I wouldn't have any regrets. I got what I wanted in this life. I got the lojong. If I die today, I'm happy. Okay. Te daki tawe korne shen shu sinla. there's a big question about, the Lojong's emphasis is bodhicitta. So the Lojong's apparent emphasis is love or care for other people. And then the Geshe type of people, they're curious. What was the emptiness understanding of the Lojong writers, the people who taught Lojong? How much did they understand about emptiness? And there are very interesting, really interesting discussions about it. And like, for example, Dharma Rakshita, who taught Seiji's Lojong to Lord Atisha, he was Abhidharma, he was lower school. And then he had that experience of cutting off part of his leg to help somebody who was sick. And then he changed to mind only. And Suvarna Dvipaguru, one of the other teachers of Atisha in Indonesia, he was mind only, but he switched to middle way. He went, his emptiness viewpoint went up to middle way. Atisha taught middle way. Atisha wrote the first great Lam Rim in Tibet. It's about 400 pages in English translation. So there's a question. How much emptiness do you have to understand to practice Lojong? Okay, what's the, where should your emptiness understanding be? And Tsongkhapa has an interesting discussion that's not in here, but he says, when people asked Atisha, who followed the middle way, which teacher had been most kind to him, he said Dharmarakshita, who was mind only school, So that's really weird that the inventor of Lam Rim, or one of the great people who started the Lam Rim, which always teaches middle way. By the end of the book, we always go through middle way. And he says, my greatest teacher was my mind-only school teacher. And everybody's like, why? And Tsongkhapa was disturbed by that. And he's like, why? Why would Atisha say his greatest teacher was his lower viewpoint teacher? And then Tsongkhapa says it's because he gave him compassion. And then he says, Tsongkhapa says, if you really understand life, you will understand Atisha's statement. And he just leaves it like that. If you really understand life, you will understand why Atisha was most grateful to the person who taught him compassion. And even though he couldn't explain emptiness in the highest way. You see what I mean? And Tsongkhapa says, there's something important there. You guys figure it out. So anyway, I think that's really, so here's where Pabonka Rinpoche starts discussing, those Lojong guys, those Bodhisattva, Bodhicitta guys, what was their viewpoint about emptiness? And then he says, Dijapa Mambon Ngarabe Tawa Tardian Tangso Me. Tangso is a very colloquial expression, which means if you ask somebody what was the emptiness understanding of these Lojong guys, Tangso Me means we can't really say for sure. We can't really say for sure. Tangso Me. Okay, that was the opinion of a lot of Lojong commentators. They said, look, we read these guys' works. It's not clear where was their emptiness understanding. We're going to do the 8 verses on Saturday. And it's short. It's 48 seconds to recite it. like that, okay? But it has a full emptiness viewpoint in it, okay? It's complete. It's highest middle way. By the time you get to the 8th verse, 40 seconds later, it's number one emptiness. Okay, it's very cool. That's why I wanted to teach it on the 20th anniversary of Diamond Mountain. Okay, yeah. 第一单手 membership 的月了，lojong 里面有些你到位块。So there's a lojong called the rays of the light of the sun. 大位块呢，umatangyo dan tumba yepena. As far as the presentation of emptiness in lojongs like that, umatangyo. What's that mean? Umatangyo. Highest middle way. Highest middle way. Okay. Consequent school. Okay. Tumba yepena. Tangyo dar samga. Samga means I want you guys to have the opinion that the Lojong writers were all higher middle way. And I don't care what people say. Okay, they were all higher middle way. They understood emptiness. Okay. And I personally don't think you can eat the poison as a peacock if you don't understand emptiness. Okay. If you think that people are not coming from you, you won't be able to, you'll have a breakdown if you try to serve a lot of them. Okay. Unless you understand that people are coming from you, I don't think you can infinitely serve people. I don't think it's possible. Okay, you will get tired or you'll break down. Okay, all right. What's the opposite of that? If you understand the pen really well, your capacity for service is unlimited. Okay, because you're really just taking care of yourself. And it's similar to the famous rich guy's answer about ethics. Right? Yeah, although I know. No, he said, what's it? Buddhist ethic, Buddhist morality. What's the definition of right and wrong? Yeah, if it hurts you, it's wrong. If it doesn't hurt you, if it helps you, it's right. And then you're like, no, morality should be how do you treat other people? And they say, no, real morality is to treat other people well because you know that you are treating yourself well if you do. Okay, which means you understand that other people are coming from you. They are you. Until you understand that other people are you, you cannot truly be moral. Okay. Okay. Which means if you want to practice Lojong well, you got to be what's cool. Higher middle way. You have to have a complete understanding of emptiness. A complete understanding of emptiness means a complete understanding of dependent origination, which means everyone's coming from me. Okay? And there's nobody who's not coming from me. It's emptiness. Got it? So it's not so complicated and it's not so philosophical. It just means everyone's coming from you, dependent origination, cause and effect, ingo. And then there's nobody who doesn't come from you, it's emptiness. And that's all. That's all you need to know. And that's highest middle way. Okay. You can't really be compassionate until you understand that there's no difference between other people and you. And what you do to other people, you are doing to yourself. Okay. Then you can be compassionate. Then you can have real compassion. Okay. Which is really self-interest. It's just a bigger me. Like you thought you had weight problems before. Now you're equal to the weight of all people. Anyway, okay, we'll talk about carbohydrates. Now there's a tradition in oral teachings in Buddhism at the beginning of a new day or a beginning of a new session, especially. Geshe, here it's called Geshe. Geshe means repeat everything. Do a review of what you taught the day before. And it slows down an oral teaching. That's kind of what happened to our oral teaching for the last 14 years. If you have to review everything because not everybody comes every time, it slows things down. But there's a tradition in Buddhism that you should review something at least 3 times after you get the teaching. Okay, so in a new country or a Western country, it's good to review things when you start the class. And he says, but when you're on the lower topics, before you reach the bodhisattva topics, I give you permission not to review. You know, it's better to get through the bodhisattva stuff before you die. Okay. So if you don't, review the lower things like death meditation, things like that, he says, it's okay with me because I just want to make sure you get through the bodhisattva stuff. When you get to the bodhisattva stuff, I expect you to repeat and review. Okay. But he's kind of giving us permission not to, go over and over the lower points. By the way, we will have a grand review of this entire 14-year teaching. I'll teach you emptiness from the greatest book on emptiness, which will take about 9 years. I started this morning again. I'm halfway done with it. But I thought we should review what we did for the 14 years, but without spending much time. So me and Tim have a plan to, I'll teach you 100 meditations from this Lamrim, okay? Half-hour meditations. So I'll teach you 100 different meditations that you can do for this book for the last 14 years. I'll start teaching half-hour meditations. And the first one, Tim, will be, what day? Friday or Saturday, okay? We'll start on Friday or Saturday, and we'll go for a year or something. And I'll teach you 100 different meditations on the Lamrim. And then we'll record them, and you can have them on your app. Tim's gonna figure out how to make the app, and given the cause and effect relationship of fundraising with app, he's gonna work on that, not me. I'll do a little bit. So anyway, we'll do 100 meditations, and you can, for the rest of your life, you can have some fun. Ask your phone AI to give you a random meditation from the Lamrim, and it'll give you, okay? We're working on that, okay? So we won't repeat the teaching. Now, good news. Ta-da! Yeah, somebody went into town yesterday, Kat. Which town? Bui? Dinara. Dinara and Kat went into town. These are the guys that shoot the rattlesnakes. So anyway, they went to a clan member's house. By the way, they are nice guys, and they did make our roads, for example. So they must be nice guys. But anyway, there's a peacock hanging out there. And I guess it was just a coincidence. 2 peacocks. Okay. That's a good one. That's like the best one I ever saw in Bowie. That's something. That must have freaked you out. I don't know. You should have brought it over here. Okay. Maybe we can borrow him. So this teaching, the whole teaching of this book, that's that yellow book that's going around, that's it's 24 days. The original teaching was 24 days. My teacher was there at one of those extended teachings. He was the cornier, which means nyerpa. He was the refreshment guy. My teacher was the refreshment guy for like 1,000 participants, you know, because my teacher at that time was a bad boy. And his main interest was to spread thumbtacks at the door because the monks didn't wear shoes. You understand? And that's the kind of thing he was doing. And he had no hope of being a geshe. And Pabon Rinpoche came over to thank the refreshment people. This happened to me. They announced that the Dalai Lama was coming to our temple, and everyone was excited. And people asked me, "Are you going to be the translator?" And I said, "No, I'm going to be the Momo cook. I won't even get to hear his talk." And I said, "Mark, mark my words." And that's exactly what happened. My competitor was chosen as the translator, and I was chosen as the Momo cook. And then I made momos all day. I didn't even get to go to the teaching. And then he went up to my teacher's room. And like half an hour later, he sent down word. He says, "I want to meet the Momo cook personally, you know." And I'm like, he said, "These are the best momos I ever had." I'm like, you know, and so I got to go up and meet them all in person, all these fat cats. Pangma. Yeah. So anyway, why am I talking about that? I don't remember. Huh? Oh yeah, so Ken Rinpoche was doing the refreshments, and Pabon Rinpoche insisted to come and meet the young refreshment guys. And he came up to my teacher and he grabbed him by the head. And he said, "You're gonna be a good one. This is a good one, you know." And he went, and then after that, my teacher beat 15,000 geshes. He was number one out of 15,000 monks. Okay, so whoever's doing the refreshments. So anyway, there was 24 days of teaching, and we have finished now 23. Okay, after 14 years, we finished 23 days. And right now, we're going to start the 24th day, the last day. Okay, so here we go. This is not the last day of the teaching because I taught you the last days first. So you could meditate on the other days. So I taught meditation first. But this is the last day that we will do. And here we go. It's kind of exciting to me. I think we'll do half here if Geshe-la can get to the subject. And we'll finish the other half in Kyoto in December. Okay. So try to come. Kyoto is unusual because it was transplanted from China of the Tang Dynasty, like 1400 years ago. The peak of Buddhism in the greatest empire in history. At that moment, it was transplanted to Japan, and then it died in China. And so really the last great classical Buddhist city in the world is Kyoto. And it's a nice place to finish the Lamen. If you have a chance, then come. Okay, it'll be limited. How many people can come is limited. Okay, it's also a small city. How many people? 1 million or something? Less? I don't know. It's hard to find a big room. I think Tim got the biggest room there. He fought for it. And he got it. But still it's limited, okay? All right. Nin Nishupar means now we begin the 20th day. Yenden Rinpoche Dupale means I will teach something from the briefer presentation of the jewel of all good qualities. And this is a nickname for the short Borobolamido, Prajna Paramita, okay? The shorter version. This is a nickname for it, okay? He's gonna quote the Buddha. Gyawa Deda Majin Data Kangshupa Kunam Paro Chimba Dian Shen Mayin. All of the Buddhas of the past and the future and who are around nowadays, they all traveled only one path, and that was the path of the six perfections, okay? So this is a big, big moment in our 14 years. We're about to start the six perfections, okay? And I personally have been waiting for 14 years to get to the six perfections. It's kind of frustrating. So yay, we reached the six perfections. And I always wanted a good explanation of them. You know, you hear about them, but it'd be nice to have a really, really good explanation. This is the best explanation anywhere, is in this book, okay? Jambar Zene, so the Lama, Pabonka, quoted that ancient Perfection of Wisdom Sutra that says, all the Buddhas walk the path of the six perfections. Sangye nam kang ne shekpe shekshu parchen dugi chupalam dube lamshin dogyu kana mepa sok. I don't care if you're studying open teachings. I don't care if you're studying Tantra. If you want to go the way that all the Buddhists walked before, it's the six perfections. You have to learn the six perfections. And then our teacher said, you're going to get a good explanation of those six. Then he asked us to review our Wundro preliminary practices, which you guys, Georgia, and Kunlong Chupa. Say Kunlong Chupa. Kunlong means your motivation for sitting here. Chupa means you have to set it every day. When you get here, you have to set it, you know, and people are dying. I keep getting messages from my brother. He's watching, he's doing a death watch for my stepmother. And I get messages every day. And I'm leaving on Monday to you know, help her die. And so, you know, fix your motivation every day. People are dying everywhere. You know, your parents are dying, your friends are dying. So he says, fix your, Kunlong Chupa means fix your motivation every day, you know, set your motivation. You know, I'm trying to do something to help this world. And really, it's just a world of death. You can talk about politics, you can talk about AI, you know, you can talk about the Samsung just passed Apple in cell phone sales this morning. But in the end, it's just everybody dying, you know. So he said, you know, fix your motivation. Then the teacher did a slight review, but not much, because he said, we got to get on to the six perfections. And he did a little review of the Lojong topics that we have been studying. He did a quick review of the Lojong. I like the words quick review of the Lojong. It means now we're finally gonna leave the Lojong and go to the six perfections. Okay. Day chanju chotu semke bitso songne nipa semke choge suwa jesu nangyu yin shi jopa zete. I have been teaching you guys how to get bodhicitta. Then traditionally, also with Master Shantideva, after you learn the two types of bodhicitta, right? The second one is emptiness understanding. Okay. After you learn those, you should take your bodhisattva vows and you should commit to bodhicitta. Bodhisattva's way of life, formally, you should take those vows. You should make that commitment in a ceremony. Okay, so at this point, if you don't have bodhisattva vows, you should take bodhisattva vows before you start the six perfections. Okay, all right. They'll be offered tomorrow. What time? 10 o'clock? Okay, cool. It's a perfect timing. Okay, we're not really supposed to go to the sixth perfection. 8 o'clock. That's too early to be a bodhisattva. All right, we'll make an exception. Yeah, he said some people think you can get to Buddhahood without bodhicitta and bodhisattva vows, and they throw themselves into chakdzok. Say chakdzok. Chakdzok is a abbreviation for chakchen and dzogchen, which is two tantric practices that are emphasized in other traditions, but that kind of skip. Sometimes they can skip the bodhisattva teachings. They say, oh, you don't need this bodhisattva vows, you don't need bodhicitta. You can go straight to meditating on the emptiness of your mind or something. Okay, got it? Seriously. No, okay. By the way, it's a bad habit. It sticks. Okay. It's a bad habit to think you should think about nothing because you will. Understand? And then it becomes a habit. And then, you never wash the dishes. Okay. That's what happened to your kids. All right. Not everybody's kids. So anyway, he says, don't even dream about doing tantra or higher philosophy if you don't do your bodhisattva vows first. He says, don't even think about it. If you're not in the business of taking care of everybody in the universe, then don't think about studying emptiness. It's a waste of time. Okay. All right. You can do all those high, weird tantric practices, empty your mind, and you won't get any closer to Buddhism. Buddhahood. Teichengi Gord Supat Sam Yang Minjunla, you will not even become a Buddhist. Okay, you won't even be a Buddhist. Okay, just thinking of that, trying to think about nothing and ignoring your bodhisattva vows or learning the bodhisattva perfections, the six perfections, you won't even be a Buddhist. Okay, you can go this exotic tantra things, but in the end, you won't even be a Buddhist. Okay. Dena semdila tamje ki nyamnengi til duche gute. Nyamnengi til means make it your heart practice. Okay. Til means your palm of your hand. Make it your palm practice, the one that's in your hand. Sangeki number tamje can be yeshiki kappa number sikyang. The Buddhas sat around for a zillion years thinking about what would be the best way to teach people. And they said there's nothing better than the six perfections. So somebody, all these Buddhists sat around for billions of years and thought, could we make it any shorter than six? And they're like, nope. Okay. Goshen Masipayan. Masipa means they didn't see any other way, cheaper way. There's no shortcut to Buddhism. You have to learn the six perfections. Okay. Okay. Nipa semke ne chibala lopso. I think I found the only mistake in this whole carving. I love to find mistakes because it makes me feel smart. And as my students know, my translator students, but here's like the only mistake I ever saw in this carving. He calls it number 2, which is number 3. But anyway, semke ne chupala lopsula. Let's get on to the 6 perfections. Semke be oktu perna dine gyagadu dromi de dromi janla. If you want to go to India, there's no hope to get there if you don't know where the roads are. And this was a big thing in Tibet. They were yak herders. They didn't have even an alphabet. You know, Buddhist teachers started coming over the Himalayas into Tibet. I mean, for every successful one like Atisha, there was 100 who died in the mountains. And, then people got turned on. The whole country got turned on. It became the most advanced spiritual culture in history. And there's 300,000 great books. It's the greatest religious movement in history. And it was destroyed in 1959. Okay, so in the history of human beings, the Tibetan conversion to Buddhism was the greatest religious event in history. So anyway, a lot of them wanted to go to India and study, but it was very, very difficult. It's like climbing down from Mount Everest or something. It's extremely difficult. So he said, look, if someone doesn't tell you how to get to India, you would be a fool to walk south and just try to get there. Okay. Therefore, you should study the 6 perfections. You should follow the path. Okay. Deyang Gyawe Chusuki Kud Ni Topar Chebala Sunam Danyashi Kinsong. Gewadi Geokun Sunam Yashi Tozokshin. This is a famous Nagarjuna verse. We say it at the end of every teaching traditionally. And it means, by the karma of listening to this teaching, may I complete the collection of merit and the collection of wisdom. Okay, so there's 2 sets of causes you have to finish. One creates a Buddhist body, and one creates the Buddhist mind. So you have to, there's 2 kinds of good karma you have to collect. One creates a Buddhist body, and one creates the Buddhist mind. So you gotta, and you have to do both of them at the same time. Okay, you gotta collect the causes for a body which can travel to all planets, and you have to collect the causes for a mind which can see all things. Okay, and the 6 perfections combine those things perfectly. Okay, the 6 perfections combine all the karmic seeds you need to get a physical body of a Buddha and a mental part of a Buddha. Okay. The first 5 perfections are the help you create your physical body of a Buddha, and the last perfection helps you create the mind of a Buddha. There's some discussion about that division into 1 and 5 and 1. I would do it 3, 1, 2. Okay, personally. First 3 perfections, body. Last 2 perfections, mind. 4th perfection, split. That's traditional, which you guys know. Okay, I don't know why he said it the other way, but must be something there. So now he gives the proper number. So now I'm going to teach you guys the 6 perfections. I'm going to teach you how to be a bodhisattva. And he says, bodhisattva, for you to be a bodhisattva, you got to learn the 6 and the 4. Okay, to be a bodhisattva, you got to learn the 6, and then you got to learn the 4. Okay, what's the 6? It's the 6 perfections. Okay, and we'll be going through those now until we finish this book. Okay, And then for the last two perfections, we'll go deeper for 9 years. Okay. So Geshe, what's the 4? So technically there's 10 perfections. Okay. Technically there's 10 perfections. 6 to become a Buddha, and 4 to attract students. Okay. To attract disciples. So if you're going to be a bodhisattva and you learn the 6 perfections and you become if you become a person who has some enlightenment in you, then you are a valuable resource for the whole world. You are extremely valuable. Even just sit here for 1 week, you are extremely valuable in the world. You're like better than all those tennis stars and golf stars. And you know, I saw a definition of sports. It was, what was it? The intelligence to learn it well and the stupidity to think it matters. I said, wow, that's pretty good. The intelligence to learn it, the fine details of football, and the stupidity to think anyone cares about it or it's going to help anybody. So anyway, if you know football well, you can get a job on TV. But if you know Bodhisattva stuff well, you can help people. Okay, so you're just to sit here for 1 week, you're an extremely valuable person. Okay, and but if you don't know how to pass it on to other people, then the value is limited. Okay, if you don't know methods of attracting students and being a magnet for students, then you cannot help so many people, you know. And it's not about becoming famous or something like that. It's about helping people. So there are tricks to attract people in a good way, in a healthy way. Not that you get more money or you get more fame or something like that, but just to wake people up who are watching the football all day, you know. To wake them up is a separate topic from the 6 perfections, and it's called the 4. In DCI, we call it the 4 magnets. How to attract people. You know, how to. Okay, so you have something valuable, but the whole world doesn't know you have something valuable. How do you let the world know? And you have a moral responsibility to let people know and to share. Once you understand anything in this room, you have a moral responsibility to share it. Get on the plane, go to Paraguay, you know, okay? You have a responsibility, okay? You would be a strange person if you didn't care about other people. If you learned something so precious and you didn't try to share it with people, you would be weird. Okay, so there's 6 perfections, and then there's 4 ways to share with other people in a good way, not in a, what do you call? We don't bang on people's doors and did you hear the good news? You know, take that book, flap it in people's eye. We're not allowed to do that actually. Okay. All right. We used to have some guys come from one of those groups to our temple in New Jersey, and we always had good debates. We invite them in, have coffee, and we had debates with them. My sister-in-law, my wife's sister, she had a very terrible disease, and she lost the use of her arm. And so the Mormon guys came 4 years ago, and they still come every week to help her, you know, like 2 young men. So, you know, I have a feeling that's more bodhisattva. Okay, so that's a great thing. That's a beautiful thing. Okay, that's amazing. No Buddhist knocked on her door yet to help her. So, okay. Parchin Dula Lobso, Shengyu membership doing Opation Lobso. Okay. What time I have to shut up, Tim? Don't say, be careful what you wish for. Okay. They do this thing. They say, "Guess you're teaching for an hour," and then after an hour, I'm like looking at breakfast, and they're like, "Oh, did we tell you about the Q&A?" I'm like, "No." Okay. Okay. Here's a picture. Here's my favorite picture of myself, actually. Yeah. Some magazine was doing an article about 30 years ago uh, about my jewelry business and my Buddhism. And at the time, I was learning how to cut diamonds, which was not part of my job, but I wanted to know. So I did it at night. I studied at night, like from 8 to midnight. I learned how to cut diamonds. And, so you can see the diamond between the fingers. That's a rough diamond. And it's very important for Buddhism. Okay. Anyway, Dambalasum. So here we go. Ta-da! We're going to start the 6 perfections. Gyalseki Chupala Chila Lapsu. I'll say something about Bodhisattva career in general, number 1. Number 2, I'm going to spend some extra time on the last 2 perfections, which is meditation and understanding emptiness. So our extra time is going to be 9 years in emptiness jail. Okay, all right. But he does spend some time on it, extra time. Then he says, Dorje Tekpa La Lobsu. What's Dorje Tekpa? Yeah, where's the picture? Diamond Way. Okay, and there's a reason why Diamond Way is called Diamond Way. Okay, and that's a long story. We'll have to talk about it. But what's cool about Lam Rim is that you get Diamond Way before the end of the Lam Rim. And you do not get that in the Geshe course. You can spend 25 years in the monastery. You do not get Diamond Way. In Lam Rim, you get Diamond Way at the end. Okay, so it's cool. Whether Lojong has Diamond Way or not, I'll leave it up to you to debate. Okay. Yeah, you should debate it. We used to have debate ground out here. That's why we built this place back here. It's kind of all spider webby now. But if you're in the mood, you can go back there and argue. You don't have to argue in the kitchen. You can argue out here. Okay. But in Lam Rim, you do get Diamond Way by the end. You don't get initiation, but you get some teachings on it. Okay. I guess we'll have to do that. Okay. Ta-da! Here's the 6 perfections. Dambala Jimba, Tsurtim, Surpa, Tsundu, Samden, Shiram. There are 6 perfections, okay? In China, they go like this, right? In America, we go like, okay, Jimba is, I struggled with how to translate Jimba. I struggled with how to translate all these words for 50 years. But I think Jimba, you can say generosity, but I think it's not quite the right English word. Giving is a nice word. Sometimes I like to say sharing nowadays, sharing what you have. I think that has a good feeling to it. Share what you get. Some cinnamon rolls at Peachtree Cafe, Mr. Bin. Share with other people. Okay, giving. Tsuchim means ethical behavior. Follow ethical behavior. There's an English word morality, but for those of us who grew up in America, it has a lot of other meanings that are kind of like, so I don't know. I think ethical life, something like that. Supa, you can translate it as patience. I don't know if it's the same thing as not getting pissed off. Okay, not getting upset. I like not getting upset. It's a lot harder to not get upset than not get angry, right? Okay, so nowadays I'm kind of feeling like not get upset would be a good word. Sundru means effort, joyful effort, to enjoy working hard. Samten means meditation, and Shira means understanding emptiness, basically, wisdom. Those are the 6 perfections. Okay, we're about to start. This is a big deal. It's been 14 years. Okay, we finally reached the 6 perfections at this moment. Dambala, Dambala Jimba means giving, okay, sharing. Then he mentions he's going to give a short definition of the first perfection. Lu Longche Getsa Che Dong Duki Semba Jimbe Ngoyen. The essence of the perfection of giving is the intention. That's the first thing he says. The essence of the perfection of giving. The first thing he says is the intention. What? Where you want to share what you have with other people. Okay, that's kind of his definition of the perfection of giving. The intention, the state of mind where you want to share. Lu Longje Geta. Lu means share your body. Okay, it means your time. Okay, body is easy. I'd rather cut my finger off than give you 6 hours. But okay, so body. Longje means the things you possess, and then Geta means your virtues, your goodness. Okay, sharing those things. The desire to share those things is the definition of giving. Okay, Yena Sum. All giving can be divided into 3 types. Number 1, Sangsing Kijima. Say Sangsing. Sangsing means material stuff, you know, cars, food, money, okay, those material stuff. Chewa Lusok Ne Chungwa Sampa Turma Kanchimba Tsuncheyin. He's not going to give you the other 2 kinds of giving yet. Okay, the first one is physical giving. Okay, and we'll get to the rest later. Okay, and he says, look, the biggest kind of physical gifts you can give is your body. You can give away your body. Okay, and people have done it. Sri Sena, right? Dharma Rakshita, give away your flesh. Okay, give away your body. And then he says, where is it, Rob? Samba. Somebody gave me a bag of samba coming into the class. Yeah. Crushed barley. Some guy sat there and went ding, ding, ding. Okay. But anyway, that's so every monk has a sampa bag tied to their belt. And it's a little bag about this big. And you keep a couple of handfuls of sampa powder. And you don't have to stop the geshe activities for food, because this is an all-purpose food. It has everything in it. You can live on this for like a year. You don't have to eat vegetables, for example. So all monks have a little bag of samba tied to their belt, and they take snacks during the day, and they don't stop. The geshe course doesn't stop to eat, you know. And so anyway, he says, give somebody a little pinch of your samba up to giving your body. This is giving, okay? Samba, okay? Samba means, turma means 1 spoonful of samba, okay? Dennis, you guys got the next picture? This is like, I don't know, do you ever do that? You sit around trying to figure out which bills you can pay? Like if I don't pay this one, they shut off the electricity. But the water people, they give you an extra week, you know. So, you know, you're like juggling with your bills. Okay. So just keep that in mind, juggling your bills. Tong minuna ngun samba. If you can't learn to share what you have, okay, if you cannot learn to share what you have, listen, there have been times in your past births when you were Brahma or Shakra. These are two deities, worldly deities, okay? And they are, these guys use planets as marbles. Ding, boom, ding, boom. They're so powerful, they use planets. They play with planets. Like, you know, and they're boom, these. So try to imagine not the person who owns all the money on this planet. Imagine somebody who has 1,000 planets in a bag and plays marbles with them. I mean, that's how power, and they exist. People like that exist. He says, therefore, you and I, we have been Brahma and we have been Chakra in our past lives. We have sat on the sun and played marbles with planets. Okay, forget having all the money on the planet. You played with the planets. You have been that. You're so but you didn't share. Therefore, where's that picture? You're trying to decide whether to pay the electricity bill or the water bill. Okay, look, man, you used to play marbles with planets. Now you're sitting there like, should I pay the water bill or should I pay the electrical bill? You are evidence that you didn't do the first perfection. Your life is evidence that you didn't do the 6 perfections. You were like them. You used to have that kind of money. You didn't pay the electricity bill, you invented electricity, and then here you are, because you were cheap. And when you had it, you didn't share it. And now look at you, you're trying to pay your bills, He says, sad. Okay, Jimba Matangwe, because you didn't give away, because you did not share with others. Nyingba Kayama number 10, Dansan Katab Dindashik to Gurtso. Katab means that's why you're in such a lousy situation nowadays. Okay, you're trying to figure out which bill to pay. Gurtso Samne, think about it. Dare Lendang Namen La Mirewa Tonga. So open up your heart and open up your pocket and give to people. Just keep giving. Okay. And I tell you, from 71 years old to all you young people, if you make it a habit to give away what you have, you will just get richer and richer and richer. The money will chase you around. Okay. Really. Okay. It's weird. It's really weird. I try to run away from money, and I'm what do you call it? I'm in a real experiment of this principle. I used to sit there with my electrical bill and try to figure out how much I could pay. And if you keep being generous with what you have, not with what you don't have, by the way, what you have, share what you have as a habit, you will be super happy and you will be super successful in your business, for example. Okay. And it's just true. I can tell you it's true. It takes a while to figure it out, but you figure it out after a while. So just keep giving, don't give more than you have. Do not get into debt. Do not cause your family trouble because you're such a mohiyapa. Okay, but give what you can when you have it, and never stop giving. Give something. Keep giving something, and you will always have money all the time. yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, I got a funny text on my phone. I mean, I could show it to you, but it says, I couldn't get your number right. And I text the person back, what number? They said, your credit card number. And I'm like, in regard to what? And they say, the refrigerator we're gonna buy with your credit card. And I'm like, which refrigerator? And they're like, oh, it's $2,000, not bad. And I'm like, and we think we got your number wrong, and we just need you to help us get it right. I swear, you can, yeah, I'll show it to you. And I'm like, well, I didn't know that I was buying your refrigerator, but I'm okay, let's do it. And so I sent them the right number and they bought it. And, you know, it's just keep doing weird stuff like that. And you'll have that was after the dentist wrote me that I had the wrong credit card number for the $8,000 tooth fixing I'm doing for somebody I met. So just keep doing weird stuff like that, and it just comes back to, I mean, I hate to say it over and over again, but keep being generous, not with what you have, okay? Not, if I didn't have 2,000, I wouldn't have done it. I would have said, look, I only have 200, I can give you 100, you know. But if you have it, just don't hesitate and give it. And I swear to God, it comes back. It just keeps coming back more and more and more and more. And it's fun. It's fun to be to try to be a bodhisattva. It's fun, okay? And just keep trying, okay? We have some time to do Q&A. I like one Q, maybe a Q and half an A. How's that? Anybody? Tim, you got that weird box? Then I erased the message on my phone because I thought probably somebody could see it, get the real number that I didn't approve of.
Question. Okay. Thank you for answering questions today. I have a question about trolls.
Troll.
Let's say you have someone trolling you and you say, thank you for your troll, it's greatly appreciated, I'll put you on hold. Does ignoring them make them stop, or is it just the fact that you're not responding with more unkindness?
Yeah, that's a good question. So if someone criticizes you online, it's kind of I've been the object of very heavy criticism online, and it still hurts me. Sometimes it hurts me, and I don't know. I thought about it a lot, and it's a new thing. You know, for 10,000 years, we developed in humanity ways to talk to each other. You know, you don't say this to somebody, and you know, but we don't have a system for civil behavior online. We don't have it. We haven't, probably our children will have rules, you know, hopefully, about how to behave online, but we don't have, it's new, it's a new thing. So people can say things about, terrible things about you, and you have no way to prove it's wrong. You have no way to answer it. You can't defend yourself. And people who are semi-famous are often the victims of it. And even the news, the big news people and like that. And we found out about it. And I don't know, my personal approach is to, I think it's valid to state the facts somewhere, you know, and say, here's what really happened or something like that. Put it online somewhere. I think that's okay. But this kind of anger, or what do you call it? You feel invaded, or you feel attacked unfairly, that feeling, I think that takes a lot of management. it takes emotional management to deal with it successfully. And I, you know, I didn't know about online stuff, and I didn't know about news, what happens when the news really gets interested in you. I didn't know about it, and it's terrible. And but I don't think I think how you respond is is the main thing, you know. And I think you should respond with grace, and you should respond with truth. And then I think most importantly, you should let it go, because you know, it just went to 10 million people. So, you know, I don't think there's much you can do practically. Just I had a companies come up. You pay us $50,000, we'll get it off the internet. You know, my well, somebody I know used to do that in business. You just pay. You pay a company and they erase everything, and nobody knows you went bankrupt. And you can do that. And I know I've been approached by companies like that, but I don't feel like it's the right thing to do. I feel like the reason it's coming is that you criticized other people. So I think as a bodhisattva or as a Buddhist, you have to, the first reaction has to be, I must have done this to somebody else. That's always the first reaction, has to be, I must have done this to somebody else. Now I'm going to be really careful that I don't start rumors or something like that. And I think that's the way to handle it. And I think it's very hard not to feel upset, and it's very hard not to get angry, and it's very hard not to be frustrated. But those are just more bad seeds. So I think as a Buddhist, you just have to, anytime someone hurts you or criticizes you, your first reaction has to be, oh, I must have done this to somebody else. So let me control myself in the future. And that's basically Seiji's new book, that 800-page book. The reason it's called The Crown of Knives is that they come back to cut you. What you do to other people comes back to cut you. So I think, and personally, I have a lot of peace about it now, but it wasn't easy. The first few years were very difficult because it was so unjust. And I thought it wasn't fair. But actually, karma is the ultimate fairness. Okay, you get exactly what you do, you know. And so, you know, a Buddhist cannot complain. You just have to shut up and stop doing it, you know. And but it's emotionally, it tears you apart. You know, it's really hard, you know. So, but like you've been trying to help people, and then it just, people attacking you, and then it means you didn't help people enough, actually. So, you know, as far as their karma or something like that, I think you can make some honest attempts to correct them, and helpful and kind suggestions like, you know, that's not nice, or you're gonna hurt yourself or something like that. But they don't listen. So I think you can tell people, you know, that hurts my feelings, and it's not true. But I don't think you should go farther than that. I don't think there's not they're not gonna stop just because of that normally. So then I look ahead at my life. I see how many days I have left on this world, and I do not want to spend them thinking about those guys. So I'm like, yeah. So I just like, I go on strike, you know, emotional on strike, you know, like I refuse to think about you. And I want to use my time for something more beautiful than arguing with you. So I very, very strict with my mind. I don't allow myself to waste time because I don't have time, and I don't want to spend it like that. I don't want to get in the cesspool with somebody and slug it out. I want to fly somewhere. So, okay. All right. Done. 0, 0, 0. I can prove it. You want this one?
Thank you, Geshe, for teaching. Please keep teaching us. So just a local announcements. We will have a long break, so you can use your time to debate on the patio or hang out in the cafeteria. The next class is yoga. That will be at 11:45. We'll have gentle yoga in the patio at South Jensen Kappa Center with Alexa, and advanced yoga here on the temple with Sandra. And then we will have lunch and torma making. So please come on time and prepare and enjoy. Then the next class is at 4 p.m. is Shangwan Tower. Sorry. Shangwan Tower. With Geshe Michael, and please don't forget to take your dinner during lunch and eat it outside the temple, because we will not allow having dinner while Geshe is teaching. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Thank you, Geshe.